Hello everyone, this is Pluto here. Welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be giving you my top 10 questing tips for Arc 1 in Wizard101. Now, I know I just said top 10 and the title says top 10, but these are in no particular order. No one of these tips are above the others, but with that being said, make sure you stick to the end of the video because the last tip is really good and will save you a lot of time if you know what you're doing. That's just my shameless clickbait, though. Speaking of shameless, make sure you like and subscribe and join my Discord while you're at it, all right? Make sure you guys do that, okay? All right. So a little disclaimer before we start. These tips aren't just going to be generic tips that literally everyone knows. I mean, I'm not just going to tell you to buy a mount with gold in the crown shop. You should already know that. These are going to be a little bit more advanced tips that experienced players might not even know. Like, if you have quested through Arc 1 before, you might not have realized that you can do these things. So I just want to make this video for everyone, basically. So if you're an experienced player, you can get something out of this video, and if you're a new player, you can get something out of this video. Number 10, don't waste training points. All right, I know I just said there wasn't going to be obvious tips, but this one may seem obvious on the surface, but it really isn't, because when you watch questing guides on YouTube, a lot of them will tell you to train Tower Shield and Satyr. Do not listen to them. I don't care what school you are. You do not ever train these spells for questing purposes. Maybe for PvP, but don't train them if you don't want to go into PvP or just do anything else. If you just want to quest, don't train them. They are useless. If you want to use them, just buy them as a treasure card. I promise you, you will never use these spells. Feint should always be your first priority, no matter what school you are. Always get Feint. Training to death. Do not get those spells. Save your training points and get Feint. Number 9 is pick a good pet body. So I do have a list of ideal pet bodies for every school. I'm going to preface this a little bit here and just let you know that these pet bodies are not paid. So you're not going to see any Frillosaurs here, and they are also only available in the hatchmaking kiosk. So you're not going to see any hamsters, even though those pet bodies are probably better. They're not on this because most new players will not have access to them. For fire, you're going to want to use the Sun Serpent pet body. It gives you a blade, a fuel, and a decent 7-pip hit plus AoE. It's pretty good for boss fights. For ice, you're going to want to use the Frosty Eye. It gives you a blade, a 100% accuracy blizzard, and a great AoE stun. For storm, you're going to want to use the Charging Bull. It gives you a blade, an AoE stun. For the AoE stun, you're going to want to use Fire Pips early on as a storm wizard. For death, you can use the Gloomy Eye pet. It gives you a blade, an AoE stun, and a 4-pip AoE if you do not have Ship of Fools. For life, you want to use the Kookaburra pet. It gives you a blade and 4-pip Leaf Storm AoE if you don't have Ratspin. For myth, you want to use the Myth Dactyl. It gives you a blade and a 100% accuracy Earthquake. And it also gives you a Gargantuan enchant that does a little bit more than Gargantuan itself, so that in and of itself is really good. For balance, you want to use the Opossum. It gives you a blade and an AoE blade, but you can also alternatively use the Enchanted Armament. I kind of lean more towards the Enchanted Armament, but if you are just starting out as a balance, the Opossum might be better because you won't be able to use the 3 sharpened blades from the Enchanted Armament until you actually get your balance blades. Number 8, don't flee. If you get pulled into a fight, do not press the flee button. Click escape, then click quit. Then join back and run backwards. Most of the time, you will get out of the fight. It may take you a few tries to actually get out of the fight. You might get pulled again, but it's a lot better than fleeing and having to run all the way back to wherever you were. Number 7, use friendly players. On the top right, there's a button where it has little 2 wizards next to each other. The social tab. If you click friendly players, you'll have a list of a bunch of players that are in your world, basically. You can actually see if they have the same quest as you if it's highlighted in blue. So you can find players that have the same quest, so you can quest with them, and you can just use them for teleports. You can just say go to wizard and just teleport to them like that. It's that easy. So if you need to go to a certain area, just use friendly players. It's super simple. Number 6, use enchants. Okay, Obviously, you should use enchants, but a lot of people don't know the easiest way to get enchants. Some people just sit in the commons and beg for ports to take me to the Archivist or take me to the Arcanum. Don't do that. What you can do is you go to the castle tours in the commons. It's this building right here. Go to top dormitories, and you can click on any of the Arcanum apartments. Once you get into the Arcanum apartment, walk backwards out the door, and then run forward and talk to the librarian. Run forward and to the right, and you're going to find Librarian Fitzhume. You're not technically supposed to know that he exists yet, but it's a simple way to get enchants, and you can just buy them from him. Number 5. Do not do Wisteria or Drizzleheim until you are done with Dragonspire. Now, I'm just going to say it. Wisteria, you probably shouldn't do at all. It's really a waste of time, but if you want to do Wisteria, go for it. A lot of people like Wisteria. It's a lot of people's favorite worlds. So if you want to do Wisteria, do it. As for Drizzleheim, you should do Drizzleheim no matter what, because Wintertusk exists and it gives you a lot of XP. But if you're going to do Drizzleheim and Wintertusk, make sure you wait until after you're done with Dragonspire, or before you're done with Dragonspire, maybe a little bit into Dragonspire, you can do it. You kind of want to have your 7-pip AoE when you do Drizzleheim, so you can just breeze through it very quickly. But if you don't have your 7-pip AoE, it's fine. You can do it with your 4-pip AoE. I would just wait until after you're done with Dragonspire so you have a lot of health, and you can just breeze through it simply without thinking. Number 4, use a certain theme. Okay, I know that this one is extremely niche, but I promise you, it's really not. Let me ask you a question. Do you like fizzling? I'm sure 90% of people say no, they don't like to fizzle in Wiz. So there's an theme you can get in the Bazaar that I'm surprised, but not a lot of people make videos about it. Not a lot of people really talk about it. It's called Tamauji's Discerning Dagger. This theme is a godsend, all right? This theme is really good. It'll pretty much last until you get your Wintertusk theme, so about like 20 or so levels, you'll use this theme. And it basically ensures that you won't fizzle. It comes with some mana, some pip chance, and it comes with 2 triangle sockets. What you can do is you can use 2 accuracy sockets with this theme, and on my death, as you can see, I have 2 4% accuracy sockets on, which aren't even the best, by the way. I can get better than that, but still, that gives me 8% extra accuracy, which is really good because all I need is 15% accuracy, and I literally can't fizzle. So it just basically makes fizzling a lot less common, and it helps out a ton. So I would 100% recommend using Tamauji's Discerning Dagger. Also, don't worry about unlocking the sockets. It's only 45 crowns, which when you actually make a new character, you start off with I think 100 or so crowns, so you can just use those. But if you did spend them, don't worry. Maybe you bought a Scepter of Tribute or something. I don't know. I'm not here to judge. You can just do trivia and get those crowns by just doing 5 trivia tests. You can literally get it super easy. You have no excuse. Number 3 is something I really should have done. Train pets as you level. Yeah, I didn't do this, and I kind of regret it. It's literally so easy to just train pets when you level with them. Like every time you level in Wiz, your energy replenishes. So really what you should do is go back to the pet pavilion and just train your pet as you level. It makes sense to do that, and I don't know why I didn't do this. Literally, it saves you so much time and money, and it helps so much. And this also means that whenever you are questing, you should always be leveling a pet with you. Even if it's not the pet you're using, you should always be having a pet in the background going on while you're questing. It's just very helpful to do that. I wish I did this more. I kind of regret not doing this. But yeah, this is a big tip that will definitely speed up the game and speed up the grind a little bit. Number 2 is keep your deck small. Now, I go more in depth in a video called Stop Making These Wizard101 Deck Building Mistakes. You can see the link in the card right up here. But you should only have around 7 to 12 cards in your deck. Yes, that includes boss fights as well. You should only have about 7 to 12 cards total. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that's too small, Pluto. I'm going to die. You forget that your sideboard exists, all right? You have a sideboard for a reason. You can use your sideboard. It doesn't matter. You don't need to pack every single spell in your main deck. Use your sideboard for it. Basically, when you're questing in Arc 1 or when you're starting off, the only thing you should have in your main deck is Blades, Feints, AoEs, and you should also keep a 2-pip spell to finish surviving enemies. Keep your 2-pip spell, whatever school you are, if you're Storm, Lightning Bats, if you're Fire, I guess Fire Elf, whatever. Just, keep your 2-pip spell in there, so that way if you AoE and one enemy survives, you can just finish them off just like that. It's very helpful to keep your deck small. Just know how to deck build, watch the video in the card for more. And number one, the tip that I think is probably going to save a lot of people a lot of time is instances can level you fast. Now, I do have to put a little disclaimer here. A lot of people don't recommend you do instances, as they say it prevents you from getting XP in future worlds. I know there's a Sauce video where he says don't use instances, don't do instances as an early level because they will prevent you from getting XP. You need that XP anyways, so why would you do them? Well, there are certain side quest instances and housing gauntlets that you can do, that you can port into, that will level your wizard and you don't lose out on any XP later on. And also in later worlds like Polaris, Lemuria, Novus, Caramel, a lot of those instances, the XP is inflated. So really, you're not losing out on any XP by doing those instances because you're going to get to max no matter what, because XP at those levels is extremely inflated for absolutely no reason. So you can also just do higher level instances. Also, if you're going to do instances, make sure you do them twice, because usually you can level up twice from them. Now, the only reason I would suggest actually doing instances is if you are impatient and just can't wait to do a certain like dungeon, I guess. If you can't wait to do Mount Olympus, if you just want a new gear, I would recommend you do an instance to level up fast. Also, if you're maybe trying to get an AoE or a certain spell, doing instances can help you get them quickly. For example, when I finish Dragonspire, I almost always try to get my wizard to level 50, so that way I can get level 50 gear, and also that way I can get my level 48 AoE, my 7-pip AoE. It just makes it a lot faster and makes it so that when I go into Celestia, I'm a little bit over leveled for it and I can actually kill the enemies quickly. So those were my top 10. I guess not top 10, because I did say they were in no particular order. Those were my 10 tips for questing in Wizard 101, for beginning questing in Wiz. Please leave your Arc 1 questing tips in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And let me know if you guys want me to make an Arc 2 video. This video is also for extra credits, for the July extra credits. It's coming out super duper late, so I apologize for that. I hope everyone that got pinged in the Discord enjoyed their 1 a.m. ping, their 1 a.m. noti. You better still come through and watch the video, guys, no matter how late it's posted. I gotta get my extra credits rewards in, alright? I gotta get my extra credits video in, okay? But yeah, leave your Arc 1 question tips in the comments. Please leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everyone, and goodbye.